All right, so we're in the truck on the drive. I apologize for road noise. It's the best I got, y'all. I want to get a couple of these out while I have the literal bandwidth to do it before I get to Oklahoma, where I won't have for 5 days. So it's raining, and we're going 71 miles an hour northbound. So if it's a little noisy, I apologize, but I will project my voice. This video is for Tina Rowland. I'm gonna guess Roland. Tina R. There you go, Tina. Hi, ma'am. You've been a supporter of ours for a good while, and I appreciate you. And your question was basically, how do you get people on board when everybody thinks that you're the crazy prepper person and nobody will take you seriously, and you feel like you're all alone and you're dejected, and you know, you're not being validated by those around you, and they don't understand the efforts that you're undertaking on their behalf, right? They're not awake. They don't get it. What do you do? I'm going to try and answer that to the best of my ability. And I wish Squid was here, but he's not. So maybe I'll ask him, see if he has some follow-up thoughts, and we'll post that later. But the first thing I would say is, don't stop doing what you're doing. Just because nobody else gets it, don't stop doing what you're doing. You clearly are convicted to get prepared, which is why you are here, right? And why you are asking these questions. So just because nobody else understands it doesn't mean that you're crazy or that you shouldn't be doing it. Don't stop doing what you're doing. That's the first thing. And if you're feeling lonely and unvalidated, I get that. So don't stop doing what you're doing. I have to go here. Do you have a group, or are you part of a group that you could steer the focus of that group, at least a portion of the focus of that group, into preparedness? And maybe get some outside support and validation, and build some of those connections with other people around you other than your family. Not that, you know, obviously you want your family to come along for the ride, but just that support network of people who encourage you and don't think you're crazy. If you don't have a group, maybe you should look into having a group. You may find some really excellent people that help validate your opinions and your preparedness and your convictions. So just throwing that out there. Now, when it comes to family, it's sometimes very hard to tell somebody something when they are overly familiar with you. Because familiarity breeds comfort, as I've said many times. So the more familiar somebody is with you, the more comfortable they get at not taking you seriously. That's something to think about. You may be too close to the problem. Is there somebody else that can address this to you? Brain's going all over the place. I have thought about making a video called An Introduction to Preparedness, or something to that effect. There would be a clear, concise, well thought out, almost scripted, or at least outlined conversation, short conversation, that would be a shareable link that you could send to people, and it would say, your mother loves you and she's concerned for you, and because of that she is preparing for hard times, however they may manifest themselves, and she's concerned. And so she wanted to share this video with you to let you know, in my words, but her conviction, she loves you. She's trying to take care of you. She's trying to help you. And you may not understand it, but please support it. Here's, you know, an XYZ, whatever, right? like a 3 to 5 minute handshake video for people that just don't get it, to, without the tinfoil hat, without the conspiracy theories, without all of the crazy prepper stuff, because let's be honest, there is some crazy prepper stuff. Without all of that, just very clear, concise, well-spoken, bullet points of this is being done out of a conviction for your well-being. And most people don't have the words to explain this to you, which is why they sent you this link. So I would like to know what you guys think about that. Do you think that would be a good idea? Would that actually help anybody? If that would help people, then I would be happy to do it, and obviously post a link so you can share that with friends or family and say, hey, I just need 3 minutes of your time. Please just watch this. Is kind of how I'm thinking about that. But getting back to Tina. Tina R, with the last name that I think is rolling. Your friends and family need to understand your conviction, right? And so in order for them to understand it, again, the familiarity, comfortability, maybe there's somebody outside of your immediate family who can talk to them and shine some light on that. And now maybe for you, I don't know at what level you're discussing it with them, but I would start on the most basic level. Hey, John, or whatever, whoever's name you're talking to. Have you ever thought about what would happen if you got sick, and you were out of work for 3 months? Because, Bill from church, he had that thing that happened, and he was out of work for 10 weeks. And, he was saying what a blessing it was that they had all this food in their pantry. Or they lost their job, or they had to move, and they were able to use some of their food storage, which is basically insurance. Food storage is insurance. You're hedging your bet against a food shortage at a later date. So it's insurance. But, hey, they were able to use some of their food storage to offset their operational costs during the move, and it saved them a bunch of money, or whatever, right? You see if there's ways to make it more relative than, so yeah, anyway, North Korea, that guy's crazy. He's probably going to nuke us. We should probably get some NBC suits. Okay, Mom, not dinner conversations, and I'm not saying you're doing that, but, I would be tempted to do that. I think that would be fun. I'd like to go to a nice dinner party and be like, so, anyway, how about that Putin? I'm pretty sure we're all going to end up dead sooner or later, just to see how people react. But keep it relative, and, are there things that people are already enjoying, in your family? What do they enjoy to do or enjoy doing? Do they like gardening? Okay, well, garden. Go plant a garden. And maybe they enjoy doing that from the standpoint of having a garden, not from a standpoint of canning for the end of the world as we know it. So you're accomplishing your goal. You're getting your garden done and your canning done for the end of the world as you know it, or whatever. But they're coming along for the ride without having the SHTF scenarios beaten over their head, right? Shooting, hunting. Is there anybody in your family who likes hunting? Or, just shooting at the range, or, can you encourage that without it being for the end of the world, man? Sewing, crocheting, knitting. Is there anybody in your family that they already enjoy that? Farming, animal husbandry, butchering animals. Look at the skills and interests that your family already has and encourage those things, not in a preparedness mindset way for them yet. For you, you're getting what you want out of it, but you're not beating them over the head with the, crazy prepper stuff. And I say crazy prepper stuff inclusively as a crazy prepper, okay? So I'm not judging you with that. Just walk the line with your language and your intent when dealing with these other people. If they're into the activity that's applicable to preparedness, but they're not into preparedness, then don't make it about preparedness. Make it about that activity. You know, first aid is the kind of thing where that's very easily justified to people. We need a first aid kit, and we need to know how to use it. Mom, you're just being crazy. Listen here, kid. We need a first aid kit. All right, whatever. So, and I'll close with this. I don't know you, we've never met. But I would say there is a line to being aware of the need to be prepared and crossing over that line into an obsession with preparedness. I've said many a time that you need to have an SHTF plan and a retirement plan. Because the world is going to end someday, but it may not be in our lifetimes. I feel like it will be. I feel like it's coming, but I could be wrong. And I know enough about my life and the way that things happen to me to know that it's entirely possible that I am wrong and will be wrong, and that nothing ever happens in my lifetime. So, you know, if nothing happens in my lifetime, on the one hand, good, I didn't have to deal with it. On the other hand, bad, now my kids have to deal with it. But at least I've raised them up with skills and abilities and given them an inheritance of food and weaponry and medical gear and property and animals and the whole nine. So, but don't obsess about preparedness. We should take things to their logical conclusion. We should think about things. We should do our best to be prepared for all situations, yes, but you have to weigh probability as well. And don't cater to the margins. Like, do not engage the crazy people. The crazy people will just drag you down into their crazy with them. So just be careful with that, and don't go too deep on any of it. So make a way with the people that you already have to develop those skills and interests that are applicable to preparedness without making it about preparedness. And then over time, it will create an opportunity for you to have a conversation about, well, hey, I'd really like to, all those tomatoes you grew, let's do 6 pints of salsa, and then everything that's left over, we'll do some marinara sauce. Wow, Mom, this is awesome. Thank you. Yeah, you know, it'd be great. Think about how great it would be if we could make pasta with eggs from our own chickens and flour from wheat that we milled ourselves. Like, you know, oh, they're really into organic food, or they're a foodie or something. Yeah, dude, that'd be awesome. Marinara sauce we made ourselves. Yeah, awesome. Okay. All of that is awesome for a right now and for an SHTF. You see what I mean? So foster the skill sets, and hopefully through your mentorship, the interest in preparedness will come. But if something ever happens and they're not on board now, you could at least say, see, I told you so. Good thing we know how to butcher chickens, or we know how to shoot guns, or we know how to ride a tractor, or whatever. So, and see if you can build a group or join a group and steer the direction of that group more towards your preparedness. And don't stop because other people don't understand it. We talk regularly here about our people, our tribe of people at Squid and Bear being the de facto experts in SHTF, which is one of the reasons that we preach leadership here. And sometimes being a leader is a lonely place. It can be a very lonely place. And that's okay, because it's a mantle of responsibility that we wear with pride. Because when something happens, not if, but when something happens, we don't have to stop and think about what we're going to do. We act. We get it done. And that, you combine that action with the preparation, you're in business. Tina, I hope this helps. The rest of y'all, we have an incredibly smart group of people here. So the rest of y'all, please comment. And if anybody else has any questions, please let me know. Shalom and blessings, y'all. Bye.